disgruntledduck.com.
Right, next up on the workbench is this, the OT26. Now, this is a Zevzda model. I haven't built one of these before, but it's got these single link track pieces here. I'm not used to using these, so this will be a new one on me. And also, it's got 2 sprues of this, so there's going to be a lot of sanding and cleaning up involved. There's not a lot of flash, to be honest, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of small bits to play with. So let's see how we get on with this. Basic part of the hole done. Wasn't the cleanest or easiest to fit. Well, I mean, no, the fit was pretty clean, but just, you know, there was a few little teething problems, and the instructions aren't the clearest. But yeah, this looks alright so far. Maybe a tiny little bit of filling, there's a couple little gaps, but yeah, it's looking alright. So I've got all the idlers, the wheels cut out, all of those little bits. The body is pretty much done. Everything's on there that needs to be on there for the time being. The turret also, that guy's done. So the next job is I've got 2 of these guys to trim up and get stuck down so we can give some primer to them. So right at the moment I'm just working on the wheels, the idlers and the suspension. There's quite a lot to put together in these little parts. There's what, 2 parts of the wheel for each wheel. So there's 2 of those. There's 2 of these little gimmicks that go over the top to hold the wheel in place. Then this is another 2-part piece, and then there's 2 little bolts that go through there. So it's quite an intricate little piece, but it's actually quite fun to build. And they look quite nice when they're done, to be fair. Very happy now. It's starting to come together in a big way now. Wheels are on, sprockets are on, idlers are on. I've got the exhaust on, and yeah, it's starting to look like a tank now. So we've just got to dry brush up the tracks and fit them. They're more of an individual. Well, I'll show you what kind of tracks they are. So yeah, going to dry brush them, fit them tomorrow when I'm a bit more awake, and then yeah, we should be home and dry, finish this guy off and start some weathering. So these are the tracks for the OT26. It's a combination of solid straight bits of track and there's some little individual pieces. Now that's the guy. I've put 1 track on the bottom, idlers are on, wheels are on, and that's how they're starting to look as they go on. So I've got to be honest, they're not too bad actually. I've had problems with these sort of tracks before on other things, but these ones are going quite well so far. I'm actually really happy with those. They look really nice. They've taken a lot longer than doing rubber tracks, but that's definitely a nice little finish. So now put my guards on, and yeah, we're going to crack on with that. So on this little OT26, a couple of the tracks have popped off when I started putting the wash on, so I'm going to have to refit them with some super glue, but I've given it an all over rust wash, so I just want it to sort of sit in those crevices. Then I'm going to go over it and try and bring out all the nuts and bolts and rivets and whatnot, and yeah, then onto some weathering, well, some pigments anyway. But yeah, I'm liking the way that's going, especially on these little bits. I think it's going to look quite nice when it's done. So the little OT26 Flamethrower, giving it a rust wash all over, so quite heavy all along the panels. Going to mix up now. I've got this burnt umber in there with a bit of white spirit, so I'm just going to mix that up. Got these cheap little brushes I picked up, like a pack of 15 for like £2. They're not good quality, but they're great for mixing paints, and you know, I don't want to damage a nice brush. So I'm going to give it a pin wash with this stuff now, just to bring out the nuts and bolts, and then hopefully onto a bit of matte varnish and finish the weathering. So as you can see, we've gone over with another wash, looking quite dark at the minute, so I'm going to let this dry out a bit and then go over it with a brush that's been dipped in white spirit, slightly damp, and just clean up all those little bits. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. So as you can see, I've gone round now, cleaned up the wash on those bolts. It's looking a lot nicer now. I think we're very close to finishing on this guy. Just a couple of bits more I want to do, and then a bit of matte varnish on top of this. And I want to finish off with a little bit of pigment on there. But yeah, this guy has got a lot of character for a little guy. So this guy's been cleaned up now, and I think it looks not too bad. So another coat of varnish, just to dull it down a little bit, and then I think we're going to have a little bit of fun with some pigments on it. So I've just finished this guy off now. As you can see, that big white blob there is actually some glue and glaze that's sitting in the headlight to make a little lens. Gone with a little bit of rust pigment all over the top of this guy. I think it looks alright. I'm quite happy with this one. It's been a simple little one, and yeah, it looks alright at the moment. So leave it to dry overnight, so that sets up as a nice little lens, and then just clean up that pigment in places, and then this one's going to be done.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment.